Hello, Jim Howard here. This is going to be, I think, fast, I hope. Not the last video that I made, but I think the one before that was like an hour and a half video, so don't worry. This is going to be shorter, I hope. I'm sure it will be. I'm 82 years of age. I have not been somebody who frequently goes to the doctor in the past, and I'm not somebody that takes medications or herbs or special things, whatever. Quite a few years back, before it should have, I used to have chest pain. Actually, it was irregular heart rhythm, and people say your heart skips, and I don't know. I'm not a doctor, not a medical person at all, no medical training, but I would have chest pain, and it really hurt a few times. I mean, under certain circumstances. And I found out that what was happening was my heart was beating. Well, let's say the heart is doing, your regular, whatever. And then what was happening was the heart was doing, your regular click. And then it skipped. So then when it comes over where you're going to do your regular one, it's, the heart is like, huh. So it goes, a little beep, and then a regular beep. So, and that makes your heart, the muscles around your heart or whatever, before long it starts to hurt, and you think, I'm having a heart attack. So it's skipping a beat. So what it turned out was that for me, I was having it, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor asked if I was, they checked everything, EKG, all that kind of stuff. Are you under any stress or anything like that? And I said, oh yeah, something going on in my life, yes. And so he prescribed Valium, and so I took a Valium. That was it. No pain. The skipping stopped. 6 years later, so I had the prescription, That's all I used. 6 years later, chest pain, heart is skipping. So I pull out my prescription that has expired, and I take a Valium, and it goes away. And so that was it. Eventually, well, then after that, see, I threw the prescription away because it was expired. I threw it away. Now, years later, many years later, I don't know, what are we talking about? Well, fairly recently, now I had a pacemaker put in about 12 or 13 years ago, and then I just had another one put in, a pacemaker, 2 or 3 years ago. Battery lasts about 10 years. But I can't remember what it was. Something came up, and I really wasn't asking for Valium or anything, but the doctor I said something about I'm having a little bit of chest pain, and the doctor said something. I didn't say, hey, give me Valium, and I said, I had something like this happen, when I was 32, and then when I was 38, and one Valium took care of the problem. And the doctor said, we don't give Valium anymore. Because everybody wanted it. That was something everybody wanted. I got sidetracked on this thing. But, okay, oh, yeah. So I was working at a small hospital, and I was having chest pain then. This was later on. And the ER, it was a small hospital, so we all knew each other. We were like family and everything. And the nurse, one of the nurses said, Jim, are you having chest pain again? And I said, yeah, a little bit. And the ER doctor said, you're having chest pain? I said, yeah. And he said, the x-ray tech was there. He said, the x-ray tech, would you take Jim back and just do an x-ray of his chest? And so I went back. She took an x-ray of my chest. I came back with the x-ray, gave it to the doctor. He put it on the thing there on the wall. And, Jim, everything looks okay. He said, that arthritis must really bother you, though. And I said, what arthritis? And he said, you don't know? And I said, no. Because I forget what age I was at that point. I mean, I wasn't like I am now, 82. He said, oh, you've got it in, really bad. He says, you're going to suffer from that. So, later in life, I have arthritis really bad in a bunch of different places. And so a doctor prescribed Naproxen for me. And when I have the chest pain, or when I have the arthritis pain, I take the Naproxen and boom. And it worked on a few other things that popped up also for me. And I take one and whoops, it goes away. Like magic, the way you want medicines to work. Now, Naproxen, I think it's your liver. Naproxen is, it's not, it's one of these things. It's good, it works, but don't overdo it. Do not overdo it. It's bad for your, okay, I'm not a doctor or a nurse or anything, but I believe it's bad for your liver. So don't take it unless you have to take it. Now, Naproxen, okay, we're going to be learning this together. I always forget this. Naproxen is called Aleve. And, okay, Naproxen, you need a prescription for it from a doctor. Because it's called Naproxen and because the strength is 500 milligrams for the tablet. And so you need a prescription for it. It works great. Like I said, it's Aleve is its name. Now you can go into a drugstore, a pharmacy, and you don't have to go to the pharmacy window. Of course, you could go there and ask them where it is or something like that. But all you have to do is just go wherever they have aspirin and that kind of stuff and go down the aisle and look, and you'll find Aleve listed. Or you'll find it right there. And you can take it off the shelf and you can go pay for it and leave. And it is Naproxen and Naproxen is Aleve. The difference is the strength. Naproxen, you need the prescription from a doctor. And Aleve, I think, is about half of the strength. So, okay. In the United States, over the counter, Naproxen is called Aleve. Prescription Naproxen is known as Well, I didn't know that, whatever it is. Naproxen is available for purchase in drugstores, or people can choose between brands offline. Let's see, is Naproxen 500 milligrams sold over the counter? The answer is going to be no. This medicine may also be used to treat mild to moderate pain, including acute gout and other painful conditions such as bursitis, tendinitis, or menstrual cramps. This prescription is available only with a doctor's prescription. But hang on. Okay. Can anyone take it? I don't want to be... Okay. What I want to know is... Okay, is there an an over-the-counter substitute for Naproxen? Yes. Okay. The main alternative for pain relief is paracetamol. I don't know what it is. Okay, so that must be, let me try this one. I'm looking for Aleve. Naproxen, Aleve, and ibuprofen. Oh, that's it. I always get that wrong. Ibuprofen, Advil, Motrin are both non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs that are available over the counter. They're commonly used for pain and inflammation. Okay, here we go. Naproxen, and then it says in parentheses, you can see it here. Ibuprofen, which is better. Okay. I think it's going to say just the difference in the strength. Okay, Naproxen, Aleve, Advil, and Motrin are both non-steroid. Let's see, the key differences. Okay, the two differences between the medications are that Naproxen lasts longer in the body. Ibuprofen is safer for your stomach. And then ibuprofen is also preferred in children 3 months to 12 months. By the way, don't, talk to your doctor or whatever. Don't take, whatever I'm saying here, But I'm learning something already I didn't know. I thought they were like identical to each other. Okay. What's the active ingredient in Aleve versus Advil? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm just going to put a link to this, but what I was hoping I could say, and I can't right now, is to get which works. This Naproxen works for me. It works for my ex-wife, and somebody else I gave one to, and it worked for whatever problem they had. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that, by the way. But you can buy this as one of these other names that has been mentioned at less than 500 milligrams. And that way it's like it is Naproxen, but you do not need the doctor's prescription. So, now by the way, I have no idea why. And that's the reason I'm making this video. I hardly ever take, I'm taking it more often. I'm 82 now, taking it more often. I don't take this very much. In fact, in the last, and maybe I just started taking it in the last 3 years, I'm not sure. I got one prescription during the year's time. And, because I very rarely took it. Didn't want to take it because of, I don't need to stress my liver anymore, or my system in it, liver, any more than it is. And But now I've been taking a little bit more of it. Okay, let's be honest. My ex-wife hasn't asked her doctor for, which I've been telling her to do, that she, because it works well for the problems that she has. So, what I was wondering about it, I'll have to find that out. Well, anyway, so, you know, like 3 years ago, I got 60 of these. 2 years ago, I got 60 of these. Last year, I got 60 of them. That's all I have left. 60 of these. And for the last year or so, I have, when I'm turning my prescription, you know, things that I need, and I click Naproxen or whatever, I never get it. And then I'll call the pharmacy, which I hate using a phone, and I'll say, oh, okay, well, we'll send that in to your doctor. Yeah, you haven't had it for, you know, but last time that was filled was a year ago. And I just did this the other day again. You know, I logged in once and tried it. Didn't get filled. I called on the phone. Didn't get filled. So what I was thinking about is, okay, so if there is a Aleve or whatever the name of it is, if it's 250 milligrams or something, but it's Naproxen, you know, like my prescriptions, you know, my insurance takes care of them totally. Now this year, 100%. I don't, you know, I mean, my insurance company's paying for it. I'm not getting anything for free. But, so if I'm going to have to, and I do see my doctor next month, so I'm going to tell my doctor, why can't I get Naproxen? What the heck's going on? And maybe she'll take care of it, you know. But if not, then I'm going to look around and see, okay, Naproxen is sold under such and such a name, and it's 250 milligrams, half the strength of this. I'll buy it. I got a feeling, though, that I won't be getting 60 of them, you know. And I bet it will be really expensive if I get, you know, 30 of them or something or other. But we'll find out. But, well, we don't have to find out because you're going to help. I'm sure there are pharmacists that are, you know, going to watch this video. I'm sure there's doctors that are going to watch this video. I'm sure there's all kinds of different people smarter than me that are going to come back and just say, oh, Jim, yeah, what you want is over-the-counter such and such a thing, and yeah, it comes in 250 milligrams, and it'll cost you about, you know, such and such. I'm a poor man. It's good that my prescriptions are, well, I wouldn't be able to afford them. Damn, I got one of these pads on the floor, and for the, you know, I started to say for the wheelchair, for this office chair, but there just happens to have worn a hole, and now when I try to, it goes down in it. I'll check and see, measure this thing, and I've had it for years. I'll see about ordering one here in a little bit, you know, a week or so or something. Yeah, but if you have an answer, and remember, when you make an answer underneath this video, you can put a link, you know, to like someplace where you got the information, or, you know, even to Alexa or into Amazon or something. You could put the link and say, oh, okay, well, you can get it on. I wonder, hang on, let's do that. Let's go and see what pops up. Let's go here and go here. Go to Amazon. And okay. Put in Naproxen. Already, okay. Here it's showing up. You're seeing that too. Naproxen, 50 milligram extra strength. Here it's saying Naproxen sodium, 220 milligrams, almost half. And let's click on this. Well, let's click first on the Naproxen. You know. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is helpful. How many do I get? Say 300. Oh, okay. Live and learn. I'm sometimes somebody who doesn't ask questions the way I should. Naproxen sodium, 220 milligrams, pain relief, fever reducer, 300 tablets, $14. Advil, here you go, 250 milligram and 500 milligram, $25. And how much of okay. Okay, well, I leave. By the way, I'm pretty sure that Aleve is what I went out into the winter weather one time, walking around like an idiot in Missouri, and I was kind of walking up a hill, and I took in a deep breath. I mean, I didn't do it deliberately. I mean, I needed to breathe, and I took in a deep breath, and I could just feel the I could just feel the cold go down into my chest area, into my lungs area. And I thought, I'm going to pay for that. And then about a week or so later, I started having chest pain. I had every symptom of a heart attack. I thought, oh, okay. Now, I took an EMT. I became an EMT. I didn't really use it. I used it a few times at the hospital to help out. And I also was a CPR instructor for years at the hospital, certifying, nurses, all the employees of the hospital had to take CPR every couple of years. So anyway, I thought, okay, this is it. This is a big one. I'm going to die. So I went over a few blocks over to the hospital where I worked as a security officer. That's a small hospital, I went over there, went in, and said I was having chest pain. Of course, I was one of the, I'm still stuck in this hole. There we are. So anyway, right away they started, they came over and wanted to give me morphine or codeine. I said, no. They gave me a little bit. They said, why don't you want, everybody wants, pain medication, And I said, because I've seen when you give it to people, then they vomit, and I don't want to vomit. And of course they said, no, it doesn't happen. I said, yeah, it does happen. So they just gave me a little bit. And so they did, EKG, that type of stuff. And then they put me on an ambulance and sent me down to the main hospital. Kept me overnight. And the nurse said, okay, we're sending it down. It was some type of a scan with radioactive material or something, I think. Some type of a scan. I take that back. It was not. Well, anyway, the nurse said, Motrin, that was it. The nurse said, did they give you a Motrin? And I said, no. And she said, okay, before you leave the room here, swallow this, a Motrin. So I was still having this pain. I've been in the hospital all night long. I got down to the place for this procedure to be done, and I said, I don't have any pain anymore. And that was it. If the hospital that I worked at that loved me so much or whatever, what they should have done, one of the things they should have done was, hey, take a Motrin. And my pain would have gone away right away, and then they'd have said, okay, Jim, you're okay, go on home. And so it was not Aleve, it was a Motrin. That's something else. And by the way, if people know something about this, and if you've had a little similar situation or whatever, please put it. Now to everybody again, do not take medical advice from me. Pay no attention. I'm just putting this up for your information so that you can, you can look into it and talk to your doctor. Or if you have health insurance, call your health, they want you, they'd love for you to call, call the insurance company nurse or whatever if you have any questions. Don't take advice from me about anything. But it's just funny that that inflammation, that inflammation around the heart because of that gulp of cold air that I took, those symptoms are identical to a heart attack. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching.